what's up, Slunts? Joker here. Today I wanted to address something that I've been seeing a lot of going on forums and different news outlets like DSOG, who did an editorial about the downgraded graphics in The Witcher 3 and how the game is not looking as good now as it did in the E3 trailer from 2013. And this has drawn a big comparison, obviously, to Watch Dogs, which was notorious for having its graphics downgraded from its 2012 trailer versus what we got in 2014 last year. Even going so far as to actually still have the game files in there that modders were able to go and turn on with minimal effort and get working for the community by the worst mod that is now, working and has been around for a good long while, and people are still using it. It's just unfortunate that Watch Dogs actually sucks big dick. Besides the graphical downgrade, the game was just terrible anyway. It was poorly optimized on the PC, and there was just no meaningful reason to actually sit down and play that game. Even if you got the mod and it looked better, it was basically just so you can go say, oh, this looks nice, but it still runs like shit no matter what kind of system you're running. I can run it now at 60 frames, having a 6-core processor and two 980s. Previously on my 3570K with two 780s, I could not run this game at any sort of consistent frame rate because the game doesn't play nice with SLI. But that's getting off topic. I really want to focus on The Witcher 3, but bottom line there is Watch Dogs sucked and they did downgrade the graphics, and I do believe that Ubisoft did it for the reasons that a lot of people accused them of, was to make it more on par with the console release so that they looked more closely similar. But I don't believe that that is the reason with CD Projekt Red. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, this is just fanboyism, blindness, that I've got some kind of blinders on because of this particular situation with The Witcher, and because I'm a fan of the game. And I'm a fan of CD Projekt Red, and I think I'm a fan of them for good reasons, though, is because they do focus on the PC, and they have been open and honest about their sort of almost favoritism for the PC, throughout this whole thing, and saying the game is going to look better on the PC. We're not going to hold back any platform. We're going to let them, run the game as good as they possibly can. And CD Projekt Red has been very open and honest about this, and that's the kind of thing I like to see in a PC developer, where the PC version is sort of being developed as the best that it possibly can and then downgraded for the consoles, which is how it should be. They shouldn't have to make console games and then just upgrade them and tweak them a little bit for the PC to make it look nicer. It should be made on the PC and then downgraded to the hardware so that it can run it. And I think that would give everyone the best experience across the board when we see games like this that come out that are good ports to console, whereas games from console to PC don't port necessarily as well. But back to the whole thing with the trailer. Back in 2013, they put out this gameplay trailer, and it was just that. It was a trailer. It was very cinematic. A lot of it was cutscenes with some snippets of what looked like in-game footage because of the camera angles being behind Geralt, walking into like a fiery village, things like that. So it looked like it could have kind of been gameplay. But going back and looking at it, I can really say that it did look like it was a cinematic trailer. And being that it was so early in the development process, you have to remember, this is almost 2 years ago. Some of those assets in the background, like the burning buildings or the walls, some of that probably just literally wasn't built yet in game, and some of it was just kind of, theorized, and they sat down and said, we want it to look kind of like this, and then the art team went in and they made it to look as the best that they can for that trailer. It was a trailer. That's where I draw the line of difference between Watch Dogs and The Witcher 3, because the Watch Dogs thing in 2012 was like a 9.5-minute gameplay demo. They presented it as in-game footage, actual gameplay with them running around and fighting with bad guys and walking through the rain and interacting with the menus and stuff in the game. So they presented it as gameplay, and then that was downgraded, and that was where the big controversy stepped in, for me at least, with Ubisoft, whereas I'm now seeing them a little bit separate from CD Projekt Red, even though we're kind of seeing kind of the same thing. But with CD Projekt Red, it was a cinematic trailer. You go back, you look at it. I'll put links down in the description below to the Watch Dogs demo and the Witcher 3 trailer, and you will see a big difference there, where the Witcher 3 video is a cinematic trailer, and I don't know why anyone would view it other than that, when it is definitely presented in that way, whereas the Watch Dogs thing was a straight-up in-game demo, and, that's the big thing for me. There's a lot of people want to just mention the downgraded stuff from that Witcher video also. at E3 in 2013 when there was actually also visual upgrades. I went back and looked through that and tried to find something I could compare it to recently that actually looks better, and the only thing I could come up with on there was the horse, really. If you go back and look at the horse in the original gameplay, it was a white horse. It didn't really look great. The textures didn't look there all the way. It definitely didn't have the hair physics like we have now from NVIDIA GameWorks. So I think the horse has actually got better, but people seem to be leaving that out. If you look, I'm going to be showing it on screen here, but you could see the difference between the old horse and the new horse. I personally think they look better, and if you think I'm wrong, you can let me know down in the comments below, but I think the horse got looking a lot better because that is probably something they did render in-game and it just wasn't ready yet back in 2013. Whereas a lot of the other environments, if they weren't even ready in-game yet, they had to have the art team work on that stuff in-engine, where it's going to obviously look better than it will in-game on the final product. That just happens all the time with game development, and now that games are under such a microscope by the media, this kind of things just get blown way out of proportion, where it was definitely the norm in years past, and I don't see that ever changing, with early cinematic trailers in the particular way that they presented it back in 2013. But that's my thoughts on this. If you guys disagree or agree, please let me know down in the comments below, because I know there's definitely two sides to this story, and you might completely disagree with me and say, no, I think they downgraded the graphics to be on console, which I personally view as an ignorant argument if you look at the facts that I presented here today. But if you disagree, or if you have some other type of evidence, please post it down below, and I'll be happy to look at it and interact with you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, or if you learned something new, please stick a like on it below, because it helps me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and if you want to follow me on social media, you can always do that on Facebook and Twitter at JokerSlunt. I'll catch you guys next time. Turn up!